Hey everybody, this is Lowly Jane, animal communicator and energy healer from animals-speak.com. And you're listening to the Lowly Jane Animal Communication Podcast, the show that promises to open your mind and heart to the amazing world of animal communication, energy healing, and what I like to call interspecies therapy. Thanks for joining me. Tune in and you'll learn how animal communication works, why it is so effective for all issues, including behavioral, emotional, physical and health issues, mirroring, dying and end-of-life decisions, lost animals, animals in spirit, reincarnation, past lives, and much more. In this episode, I'll show you how animal communication can help with your animal's physical and health issues. We'll discuss how animal communication and energy healing can help with pain, injury, trauma, illness, and disease. I hope to give you a deeper understanding of the value of animal communication and energy healing when dealing with your animal's health. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. As we have mentioned in previous episodes, I am a certified professional animal communicator and pranic energy healer. I offer international remote and in-person animal communication sessions, pranic healing, and animal communication training workshops and coaching and mentoring. To review a little bit, animal communication is simply telepathy. Telepathy can be done remotely using words, thoughts, images, sounds, smells, feelings, sensations, pain, or anything to do with the five senses. Animal telepathy is not woo-woo. It is not magic, and it is not psychic. It is a primary language of animals, and humans have this innate ability too. For more on this, please watch episodes 1 and 2. So how can animal communication and energy healing help with your animal's physical and health issues? First, animal communication saves time and money. Animal communicators such as myself can get fast, accurate information by directly communicating with the animal to find out what is going on with them. You are giving the animal a chance to tell you exactly how they are feeling physically and emotionally and their needs. Second, animal communication can provide valuable details for you and your veterinarian. Because we are talking to animals directly, we can get valuable details that you can share with your veterinarian for a diagnosis. Animal communication can pinpoint exactly what your animal is experiencing, including the location of the pain or discomfort, the sensation, whether it's sharp or dull pain, where in the body they are feeling discomfort, whether it's acute or chronic, how long they've had this pain or discomfort, and the pain level. Third, animal communication finds the root causes of pain or illness. Because we are talking directly to the animal, we can find out the source of the pain or illness. For example, if your animal has just bitten a frog or a toad and the toxins are starting to set in, your animal will be able to convey this information and give details to the animal communicator, which then can be provided to the client to share with their veterinarian for a faster and more accurate diagnosis and treatment. As we discussed in episode 3 about behavioral issues, sometimes the animal's health issues are not their own. Rather, they may be mirroring you or someone in the family. This is not always the case, but animal mirroring is very common. Just like your children, partners, or spouse mirror you, so does your animal. The reasons animals do this is to show you or tell you or a family member about your own health issues or their own health issues. Many times our animals can even bring attention to an illness or disease that humans never even knew they had. So let me tell you a story, which you may have heard on my YouTube channel, about a client that I had with a cat with an impacted bowel. So she said she went to the vet. They had many diagnostic and treatments, and they had colonics, medication, probiotics, change of diet. Nothing worked. Her cat had an impacted bowel for a long, long time. She said it was getting worse. So, the treatments that they already tried didn't work. So she came to me, and I talked to the cat, and it was an amazing thing what the cat told me, that the impacted bowel had to do with its person, which is mirroring, and that it had to do with the female family lineage, and it had to do with anger at their mothers. And this is astounding that this has to do with an impacted bowel. You would never connect the dots here. And neither would the vet unless they had an animal communicator on staff. So, I went back and I read this to the client, and she goes, "Oh my God, that's amazing." She goes, "I never told you this, but I also have an impacted bowel." She said, "So does my mother, so did her mother." And all of the females in the household were angry and not talking to their mothers. So this was totally correct. So I did a forgiveness thing. I do pranic healing for animals and their humans. So I did a thing with her, a forgiveness exercise with her, helping to take away some of the anger and resentment and to open up forgiveness. And she started talking to her mother. Her mother started talking to her mother, and so on and so forth. And she called me like about 3 weeks later. She goes, "You're not going to believe it." She goes, "My impacted bowel is gone. My mom's impacted bowel is gone. We're all talking to our mothers, and the cat's impacted bowel is completely and totally gone. No further treatment needed." It's astounding how far mirroring can go. In the next episode, episode 5, we will be talking about animal mirroring in detail. So be sure to subscribe so you'll get notifications. Another great advantage of animal communication is it can be done remotely. Animal telepathy and energy healing can be done remotely and in person, which means I can help animals all over the world. The session can then be discussed with the client, and a full set of notes provided that can be shared with your veterinarian. This works for all animal species, including domestic pets and animals in zoos and rescue sanctuaries under human care. Animal communicators can provide holistic solutions like animal aromatherapy and energy healing. I make suggestions such as Young Living essential oils for pain and physical issues, or Bach flower essences for trauma and emotional issues. I also offer, as I mentioned, remote pranic healing for animals. Getting an animal communication session first is a great help, because during an energy healing session, I can get more details about what needs to be healed. And usually during an energy healing session, I don't typically communicate with the animal because I'm focused on, feeling the energies and cleansing and energizing, which is what I need to do. So I'm not typically having a conversation with the animal. So if you do a double session and do animal communication first and then pranic healing, it works wonders. Amazing. Animal communication can also address the dreaded end-of-life decision. Sometimes you are only given 24 hours to decide, and animal communication can help with this life and death decision. I can ask the animal directly if they are ready to leave their body yet, and we will go into detail about death and dying and end-of-life decisions in episode 6. So now, although many animals will hide an injury or pain, as you know, you are usually tuned in with your animal and know when something is not right. These behaviors and symptoms or injuries may have many different causes. One of the causes could be an underlying emotional component rather than just being physical. For example, depression could be clinical in nature. caused by a lack of serotonin and other neurotransmitters, or it can be caused by an emotional issue such as long-term unresolved loss or grief, where the animal has lost all interest in life. It is essential to separate the physical from emotional and behavioral causes. This is really important because if the root cause is not addressed, you will just be putting a Band-Aid on the situation. In the case of the depression, antidepressants may be given to the animal, but nothing will change until the animal can get through the grief and loss, just like a human being. And yes, I do feel all the emotions that humans feel, all of them, the entire range. Here's where I come in. I can directly talk to your animals and find out whether it's emotional or physical in nature, and act as an interspecies therapist to address the underlying issue, get lots of details for you and your veterinarian, provide talk therapy for the animal, give real-life suggestions, and offer pranic healing for physical issues or what's called pranic psychotherapy for trauma and emotional issues. Let's talk about working in tandem with your veterinarian. As a caretaker or pet parent knows, sometimes health issues can take a turn for the worse, and you will see a rapid decline in your animal's overall health. Again, this is where animal communication can provide a very important emergency service, working in tandem with your regular or holistic veterinarian. Let's say you visit the doctor for yourself. When you go to the doctor, you or a family member are providing the details of symptoms of the illness or injury, then the doctor performs certain diagnostic procedures to get a definitive diagnosis for your health issue. But when your animal is sick and a veterinarian makes a diagnosis, sometimes there isn't time or money to do the needed diagnostic procedures to know definitively what the issue is. So a lot of times vets will use their best judgment. Just imagine, it would be a game changer in veterinarian medicine to work together with an animal communicator. We can work together. This is possible. If you are a veterinarian listening to this podcast, it would be invaluable to have an animal communicator on staff to directly communicate with your animal patients. So I have been contacted by veterinarians in other countries to assist, where animal communication and energy healing is more commonplace, but not in the United States. In fact, if you go to the doctor in the Philippines, you will get an MD and a pranic healer to address your medical conditions. I do pro bono work for the Honolulu Zoo in Hawaii and assist the head zookeeper and the vet techs in health checks and other matters. So let me share this story with you. At Honolulu Zoo, it was time for Rusty, the 41-year-old male orangutan, to get a health check. Older male orangutans will often get heart or upper respiratory problems. When they do physicals on the orangutans, they normally have to tranquilize them, which is very dangerous, especially for larger males. The head zookeeper was training Rusty to voluntarily put his arm through the sleeve for blood collection. But they were having difficult time since Rusty would throw violent temper tantrums, refuse all needles, jerk his hand out, spit on them, and throw all of his toys around. Rusty and I had a long conversation about his aggression, temper tantrums, and upcoming health check, and the results were nothing short of amazing. Here is a testimonial from the head zookeeper at Honolulu Zoo. He fully cooperated with the practice blood draw. In fact, he was so cooperative, he showed no signs of aggression, no temper tantrums, spitting, or throwing objects or toys. And he put his hand through the sleeve right up to the vet tech and pointed to the spot on his arm where they could draw the blood without me saying anything or using tranquilizers. Amazing. So again, it is possible for us to work together in tandem. Let's talk about some common physical and health issues in animals. Animal physical and health issues can be acute, like recent bone injuries or sharp pain, or more chronic, like long-term disease states such as arthritis, obesity, or diabetes. Some common animal health issues are musculoskeletal injuries, pain, trauma, changes in appetite, excessive urination or thirst, dehydration, digestive upset like vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, or colic, excessive scratching, listlessness, like sleeping all day, isolation, or sudden changes in behavior. Regardless of the issue, it is very important, like we talked about, to find out exactly what's going on. Animal communicators do not diagnose, but we can provide valuable details, as I said, directly from the animal on how their body feels. I can ask invaluable questions like, how are they feeling physically? If they have any pain or discomfort, the location of the pain or discomfort, the sensation of the pain, when it started, how long they have felt this way, is there any emotional cause of the pain or health issue, what they need to feel better, and in the case of mirroring, if they are trying to show or tell a family member something. I can also do a body scan to check the following: pain levels, scan for any energetic or chakra imbalances, scan for areas of pain or blockages, and feel actual sensations of pain or discomfort. Let me tell you about a story of a horse client that I had who sent me pain and literally dropped me to the ground. So I did a long communication session with a horse, and the horse was lame, and we figured out what was going on, and I asked the horse if an energy healing would be appropriate, if they would like to receive an energy healing, and the horse said yes. And I make suggestions at the end of the animal communication session, and one of the suggestions was to do a healing session. So I told her that I do energy healing, remote energy healing, and she said, well, maybe we'll do this. You know, she didn't give a definitive answer, but she said, well, maybe we'll do this. So that was that day. The next day, she called me, and I said, well, you know, do you want to do the energy healing session? And literally, as we were talking about it, the horse sent me its pain. I was walking while I was talking to her on the phone, and the horse sent me the pain and literally dropped me on the ground in the street, laying there with like this horrible, horrible pain. I could not get up or move my legs. And I said to her, I think your horse is telling me that it really, really needs an energy healing session now. I wasn't making this up. And it's literally, she's like, okay. As soon as she said that, like literally, as soon as she said that, the pain came right out of me. It was unbelievable. So here is a testimonial for this horse that I just talked about. We have sought help from several equine pros, 3 vets, 3 farriers with no diagnosis or treatment. Frustrating not finding an answer. Your suggestion of energy healing was amazing. She is running, jumping, bucking, and playing like she has not been able to in a long time. She is happier and more comfortable and vibrant and content since healing. As suggested, my son spends more time brushing and feeding her and giving her treats, and she said that she really loves children. I had animal communicators for my horses before, but as I have never suggested, or I have never had someone suggest something that has just made a huge difference. I am so thankful for that. I have truly been blown away by positive results that I have seen after just one session. I look forward to continue working with you in the future. Thank you. LL, Farmersville, Ohio. amazing. Here is another animal communication session. A horse. She looks healthier and seems better after your communication and healing session. She is moving around better. Her body looks so much better. Her weight is improving. Her coat is improving. Worm issues have gone away following deworming treatments, which I did not do, the vet did. I will be doing the recommended Bach remedies, and she is now picking up her feet so I could clean her. She wasn't doing that before, probably because of the pain. She is not nipping at people as much. Really grateful for having you arrive to share this with me, just in a lot of gratitude. Will help my horse and I explore and deepen our relationship. The knowing, confirmations, and being validated. I really appreciate it. You are a highly gifted, and what you said blows my mind, and I believe it. B.I. in Salt Lake City, Utah. And a great result from a dog. My energetic dog had a bad case of diarrhea, unusual for him. The vet did a blood and fecal test and found nothing. She gave him antibiotics, which helped somewhat, but then he started licking his paws like never before. When I went back to the vet, they said it was a food allergy and had changed the diet. That's when I realized I needed a second independent opinion, contacted Loli Jane. I had a feeling that only direct communication with Jimmy would reveal the root cause. Loli and I had a great conversation with him and was able to do a successful remote healing session. Jimmy started feeling better the next day. He stopped licking his paws and his digestion returned to normal within 2 to 3 days. It turns out that he had discovered that he had bit a toad during the walk, and he likes to check out bushes and flowers and ingested frog toxins. This is a perfect example of how animal communication and energy healing can complement veterinary medicine. KK, Marina Del Rey, California. That brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you have a much greater understanding of the value of animal communication and energy healing in your animal's physical and health issues. I am available for animal communication or energy healing sessions and also have upcoming training workshops. For more information, please visit my website at animals, it's a dash or a hyphen. So it's animals-or-speak.com, or email me at lolijaneanimalcommunication@gmail.com. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and may even see overnight dramatic health changes, as well as opening your mind, heart, and spirit to your deep connections with your animals. If you enjoyed our show, follow and subscribe for exclusive content. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and be sure to come back next week for a discussion on animal mirroring in episode 5. Until then, love and gratitude for listening to the Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing Podcast. This is Loli Jane. This podcast was created, produced, recorded, researched, and edited by Loli Jane, and it's a product of Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing.